Wow. The Milwaukee Bucks have taken the 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals with that win over the Hawks at home. Brook Lopez actually led the offensive effort with Giannis Antetokounmpo sidelined with that hyperextended knee that he suffered in Game 4. The series will now, of course, shift back to Atlanta for Game 6 Saturday night on TNT. I'm Kristen Ledlow. He's Jason Terry. He's Brennan Haywood. We're going to be with you for all of the post-game coverage as we wait for coaches and players to take the podium and address the media. We've got to start there with Brook Lopez, a playoff career high, 33 points in this one, Jet.
Yeah, Brook came out early. He had it on his mind, and he wasn't settling for threes. He was very dominant in the paint. And this is the Brook Lopez that, we want to see, and you're going to have to see. In 2 or 3 times, he got rebounds, second chance opportunities off of free throws.
Right.
And that's one of the coach's pet peeves. We can't give up opportunities on the defensive rebounds.
I think this is the Brook Lopez that I used to play against when he was playing in New Jersey. Maybe date myself because I played in New Jersey back in the day. But when he played with the New Jersey Nets, he was a force inside. And when you look at Brook Lopez tonight, 14 of 18 from the field. Jet, only 2 threes, though.
That's it.
Only 2 threes. I know they call him Splash Mountain, and the big fella has range, but he also has game inside, and he can still affect the game in the paint. And he did that tonight. He had some good offensive rebounds, but more importantly, he was finishing everything. Turned back the hands of time. Brook Lopez was a monster inside.
Because that was the primary concern with Giannis sidelined, is how you make up for his production in the paint. Our Stephanie Reddy is covering the Eastern Conference Finals for TNT, and she caught up with Brook after the game.
What was the difference?
Bobby Portis also with a career playoff high. He had 22 points in this one. So, Brendan, if we were concerned about where the Bucks were going to make up for some scoring, those 2 guys answered the call.
Yeah, Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis, man, they turned back the hands of time. They were looking like they were looking like Tim Duncan and David Robinson in there. Like, they were the dynamic duo inside, and Bobby Portis, he did it with his energy. Yep. He just made those hustle plays. You saw him getting out in transition. Every time he did something, he was getting the crowd involved. And when they asked the coaching staff about what Bobby Portis brings to this team, they talked about his energy, the enthusiasm. You need that guy that just has his own set of oomph with them, and Bobby Portis brought that tonight and played incredibly well. They couldn't have got this win without both their bigs playing to the extraordinary level that they did.
No doubt, and they needed it because, again, without Giannis, who was going to fill that void? Well, Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis did it, and you said it, with his energy, his effort, right? And though he's a bench player, now he's thrust into the lineup. He didn't change who he was. He's a guy that can score. He got out in transition. He ran. He can hit spot-up threes. He shot a career high from 3 this year. So he didn't stray away from who he was. And his energy was just infectious all night long on both ends of the floor.
Brendan, another guy that you pointed out as being a potential X factor in the win or perhaps even the loss for the Milwaukee Bucks in this one was going to be Jrue Holiday. He did then become the first player in Bucks history with multiple 25-point, 10-assist games in a postseason. I mean, what did you see from him that allowed him to be as effective as he was?
Well, obviously with no Giannis, Jrue had the ball in his hands a lot more, so he was able to get into a comfort zone and get into a rhythm. Once again, in previous stops in his career, he's had the ball more. So playing that third role, that third banana, is a little bit different for him. So at times, sometimes he gets lost in the shuffle, but not tonight. He understood, hey, I got to be aggressive. I got to get down the lane. And whether he was looking to make plays for Brook Lopez or he was looking to make plays for himself, he was doing what he needed to do as far as cutting, dribbling, getting down the lane, and creating a problem. He still mixed in his step-back jumpers, but I love how I love how Milwaukee attacked this matchup tonight. They really got it done in the paint. They outscored Atlanta 66-36 in the paint, and that's where the game was won.
What is it that went wrong for the Hawks in this one? Apart from the obvious, you're missing Trae Young, but
right.
They were missing him in Game 4 as well, Chet.
Well, they didn't make shots. I mean, there was plenty of times where the lead was 9, it was 11. And then they had opportunities, wide open 3. They get a steal, come down, another wide open 3, and they just didn't make shots. And that's what tends to happen to young teams on the road in pressure situations. Had they been in Atlanta in old school Phillips Arena, now it's not called that, but had they been at home like they were in Game 4, those shots may have failed. Now, I will give Atlanta Hawks credit. They fought to the end. Yeah. This was a 10-point ball game with a minute and a half, two minutes left, and they're a couple shots away, a couple possessions away from making it really interesting. But, hey, can't worry about it. You know you're going home now. Hopefully you can get Trae Young healthy, and that will give you a much-needed boost. But they need him, man. He's the engine that makes them go. He is why they're in the Western Conference Finals right now.
Yeah, and like you said, you talk about Atlanta didn't make shots. I think one of the reasons that Milwaukee won is the quality of shot. Atlanta missed some shots, but Milwaukee, they got a lot easier shots. Look at that three that we just showed from Bobby Portis. That's what he does. Like you said, he played his game. He didn't have to do anything special. I'm spotted up. I'm shooting my three. I'm getting out in transition. Brook Lopez, it wasn't like he was taking a bunch of step-back jumpers. He was dunking because Drew Holiday was setting the table for him. So those guys got a high quality of shot. Milwaukee as a team got a high quality of shot, and that's why they dominated the paint. Jet, I know you were a shooter back in the day, and everybody on the analytics department says you got to shoot the long ball to win nowadays. But listen, take it from an old big like myself, there's still some gold to be had in that paint. And if you can dominate that paint, you can dominate the game, because you dominate the paint and then you get your threes once you cause a problem inside the paint.
Which is something that most thought wouldn't happen for the Bucks with Giannis sidelined. So operating under the assumption that there is no Giannis in Game 6, there is no Trae in Game 6, neither of which have been officially ruled out by either team at this point, what can be done differently by the Hawks in order to perhaps slow down what we did see happen in this one?
Well, I think if you're the Hawks, when you start off the game, you have to take care of the offensive glass. In the first quarter, Milwaukee's able to get into a rhythm because when they miss shots, they were able to get offensive rebounds, second, third chances, and now you start to get your confidence up. So Nate McMillan's going to say, hey, guys, this team is a good team even without Giannis. We can't give them easy opportunities. We have to win the battle on the glass. We cannot afford to get abused like we did in the first quarter of this game.
Yeah, Milwaukee really talked about it before the game in pregame about the physicality, how physical Atlanta was in Game 4. Milwaukee was the much more physical team. And then you want to talk strategically, offensively. They weren't putting Brook Lopez in pick and rolls and dropping the coverage. They were switching. So that adjustment has to be made. How do we attack a switching defense now of the Milwaukee Bucks? And hopefully Nate McMillan will go to the drawing board, watch the film, and figure it out.
All fair questions for Coach McMillan, and he's addressing the media now.
What was your assessment of what went wrong in that first quarter in those first few minutes?
Just they were more physical. They hit us in the mouth, and we just did not recover from that. You know, they were aggressive, 28 points in the paint in the first quarter. I mean, it's just, no defense on the ball, no defense off the ball. Weak side help was not there. They were the more physical, more aggressive team from start to finish tonight.
Jeff?
Yeah, Nate, following that up, how do you explain the lack of defense in the middle of the paint?
I can't. What I said to our guys before the game, the team that has been the more aggressive team to start the game has won every game in this series. And this was a very similar game to the game that we played here, where they came out very aggressive after losing their game. We came out aggressive after dropping a game at home, and a very similar game. So, we knew that they were going to come with that sense of urgency. Tonight, they were going to continue to attack even without Giannis in the lineup. That's just how they play. We knew that they would look to go to Lopez more, and they did. And they just dominated the paint tonight.
The Bucks take the 3-2 lead. Mike Budenholzer is also addressing the media.
Yeah, no, I think there was, great opportunity for him to, I think just get the ball a little bit more, try and use him a little bit more. And he came through big time. There's a couple, where he just, he made plays, but he did it in a lot of different ways. He did it in pick and roll. He did it on the offensive glass, got to the free throw line. Just an overall, really, really impressive effort. He's such a great teammate. He always wants to be there. He wants to deliver for his team, and he stepped up big tonight.
Is that one of those where when you don't have one of the best at the rim scorers in basketball, that the other 7-footer has just more space, more chances to get to good-looking spots for him? You know what I mean? Where he doesn't kind of have to move around as much.
You know, I think it's just, you know, we had to figure out a way to give ourselves a chance. And Brooke getting to the paint, Brooke scoring there was good. He's done it, you know, really his whole career. So, and you know, just credit to him. I thought Bobby was great. You know, both those guys played well together. You know, Chris and Drew, I think set the table the way they came out to start the first quarter. It's just, you know, we got to get ready to do it again now.
I think at halftime, Drew had assisted on 5 of the 7 buckets that Brooke had. It felt like it was a real priority. Every time he got into the lane, that Brooke just ran straight to the front of the rim. What do you think of their connection tonight, and then Drew's aggressiveness off the dribble?
Yeah, you know, both were good. You know, I think Drew's just, you know, he's a great point guard. You know, I think seeing and understanding and getting Brooke, you know, more involved, getting Bobby more involved, but at the same time himself being aggressive. I thought he set the tone with, you know, his baskets early and his aggressiveness, and, you know, we got to be ready to have that same kind of edge and same mentality going into the next game.
I think to start the fourth quarter, Chris has the ball in his hands on something like 6 possessions. It's a couple assists, a couple buckets. Just what do you think of his job to kind of close the door?
Yeah, no, I think we gave Drew a break there to start the fourth quarter, and so, you know, Chris and you know, Brooke and maybe Bobby a little bit, and, you know, just playing a 2-man game. You know, I thought that the start of the quarter, to be able to give give Drew a little bit of a break, you know, Chris was able to kind of handle that responsibility.
Obviously, that was a big starting lineup that you guys had out there tonight. What do you think of the guys' ability to obviously understand that they're supposed to be big and then go out and play in that way?
Yeah, no, they're smart players. You know, it's a credit to those guys to figure it out, and, you know, I think it gives us, you know, a physicality, a defensive, you know, just an ability, hopefully, to guard them. You know, both teams scored at a high rate, scored a lot of points. You know, so hopefully we can get better defensively and still, you know, play and score, you know, when we need to, or at a high rate offensively.
If you had to put your finger on it, why do you think Milwaukee fans go absolutely insane for Portis the way they do?
He just plays with great passion. You know, I think his passion is infectious. His teammates love him. You know, the fans love him. You know, he brings that passion for the game, for life. He's fun to be around. I think, you know, the crowd can feel that. His teammates can feel that. Coaches can feel it. He works. He's a worker too. You know, so I think it's a little bit of everything, but passion to me is the thing he brings to the game.
And the other question I had was whether it was before the start of this series, once you knew you were going to play the Hawks, or at any point during the series, does it ever cross your mind that there was a brief moment where you thought Bogdanovich would be on your side?
No.
Following up on Joe's first question, I know there's a joy in just winning at this point, right? But for a player like Bobby, watching him do it and the loudness and that infectious word that you used, is there a different type of joy in watching him enjoy doing this?
I mean, you know, just when guys work hard, you know, you like for them to be rewarded. He's prepared. He wants to, you know, just like Brooke, they want to be there for their team. And that kind of selflessness, and when you see it manifest itself on the court. But, you know, we got to bottle all that up and you know, get ready to go on the road and play. You know, find a way to handle that, and you know, Bobby, the whole group, we got to be ready to go.
Steve Darby. You know, dug yourselves a pretty deep hole in games 3 and 4 really early. This game, you're up 20 like that. How were you able to kind of turn things around, and how much did y'all prioritize getting up to a faster start after what happened the last couple games?
Yeah, I mean, Drew and Chris, you know, came out and I think put their stamp on the game early. I just like their aggressiveness early. I like, you know, we were able to get some stops. But you can't just push a button or say a magic word or something like that. You know, we got a good group. They're good players. They played well tonight, and you know, they understand what we got to do going forward.
Last one in the room to Jeff Zilgett.
Mike, you said it's difficult to keep Giannis away from the gym, his teammates. I know you're coaching tonight, but what did you notice about his involvement with his teammates and maybe even the coaching staff tonight?
Yeah, no, I mean, several times, just noticing the, the communication, the trying to find a way to help the team any way he can, even when, he's not able to dress and play. And I saw a guy that was, locked in and trying to talk to his teammates and be there with them. And, that's what we need from everybody.
2 on Zoom to Eric.
Any Goodwill? Hey, Coach, Bobby didn't play in 3 of the games in the last 3 against Brooklyn. What does it say about him, about his readiness, that he's been able to produce so much and he stays so focused even while he has so much inactive time?
Yeah, it's a great credit to him. The maturity, and there's a mental toughness that when, you're not getting to play and you want to be out there, you want to help your team to stay ready, to understand every series is a little bit different. His energy and him, whether he's playing or in the game, not playing or he's in the game, he's still got, great energy, and he's there for us.
All right, that's it. Thanks, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
We're going to need that going forward as well.
You think he can bring it on the road?
He's going to have to. I'm telling you right now, because the Hawks have already proven at home they're tough. They're diehard fans, which I can't remember, but there are some diehard fans here in Atlanta.
Oh, no, they out now.
They really get after it.
Hey, man, they were playing We Ready and everything after the game. That's a different type of crowd.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. They wasn't doing that in Dallas. Well.
123 to 112, the final score as the Bucks take the 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Danilo Gallinari added 19 points on 5 of 11 from the field, and he's at the podium now.
You guys did such a good job keeping the Bucks out of the paint in Game 4 on defense. What allowed them to be able to get in there so frequently tonight in Game 5?
We didn't do a good job with that tonight. They definitely got us in the paint. We scored way too much in the paint, and we need to do a better job with that, especially start of the game, first half. They were just going in and crashing the boards, so they were way better than us in the paint, like you said. And so if we want to win a game, we need to definitely get better with that.
Chris Kirshner.
You were on the bench for obviously the first couple minutes in the first quarter. What were you seeing out there for the reasons why the Bucks were just attacking you guys?
They were just a more aggressive team, intense energy. We didn't match, their intensity, their energy. And they were just, able to do whatever they wanted. And that's similar to what we did in Game 4. And so, we definitely need to start the game better and not let them be the aggressive team.
Jeff Schultz.
I'm sure when you're on the bench or you're on the court, you're seeing what's happening. I'm sure you're being told by coaches what's happening. Are you just, when you're out there, are you just feeling sort of a step slow in terms of getting to the inside?
I think it's a mental thing that you just gotta do it. I mean, we knew that they were gonna be aggressive. We knew that they were gonna be intense. They're playing at home, and so. We just got to do a better job with that intensity and the energy. We just didn't bring it at the beginning of the game. We had played pretty good 3 quarters, but the first quarter was tough.
Back to Chris.
Obviously, you guys have been counted out many times this season. It's 3-2 right now. Does it at least give you a little bit of confidence that you have been in this position before and won?
Yeah, we have a lot of confidence. That's something that we had since the beginning of the season. Like you said, we've been here before. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals, and so we have a lot of basketball to play. And so, of course, the next game is we need to get the next one, and we will. So we'll be ready for the next one.
On to Zoom.
Davide. Danilo, obviously things didn't go your way, but what do you think made the difference apart from the first quarter?
They, like I said before, they had a better rhythm in the game, offensively, defensively. They had more energy and more intensity than us throughout the whole game. Especially, going, attacking the board and dominating the board. But I thought that they played a very good, team ball and team basketball. And like I said, with the intensity that we did not match.
Leonardo Torres.
Hi, Galo. It's Leonardo Torres from Peru. Hope you're well. Galo, despite the loss, what positives you can take away from this loss, thinking about the Game 6 in Atlanta?
I think that this was a tough game. So yes, we did a couple of good things, but we still lost the game, and so we know what we need to do to win games. We know that we need to be aggressive and intense for 48 minutes, especially against a very good team like them. And so we know what the recipe is. We just got to do it for 48 minutes. We cannot have ups and downs during the game.
Thank you, Gallo.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
As we listen to these guys start to take the podium and address the media, answering questions after that game, I mean, they're talking as if they have to plan for these next couple of games without their superstars on the floor. So if you are the Hawks, if you are the Bucks, are you game planning differently for games 6 and potentially a game 7 than you were for those first 4?
Well, if I'm the Bucks, my game plan is the same as tonight.
Yeah, which works, right?
I'll punish them inside. We're the bigger team. Hey, Brooke, we're not going to have you standing in the corner tonight. We're going to get you inside a little bit more. Bobby, bring that same energy. I need your Twin Towers to still do what you do. Yep. And then I'm going to say, hey, Drew, be more aggressive the way he was tonight. So if I'm Milwaukee, I'm going to do the same thing that I did in Game 5 and Game 6. Yep. Now, if I'm Atlanta, I'm going to have to switch some things. Hey, we can't allow them to get second chance points the way we did to start this game. That gave those guys confidence. We're going to have to guard Drew Holiday a lot better, show him a little bit more attention, especially now that Giannis isn't out there. Mm-hmm. We have to shift our attention and treat him like the special player that he is. Same thing with Chris Middleton. So there's some things that Atlanta can do differently offensively and on the defensive end. But it starts with, hey, we can't get doubled up in the paint. We can't score 36 points in the paint, but allow them to score 66. We can't allow that to happen.
Right, and Atlanta, 14 turnovers tonight. I just thought in the half court they really struggled, right? They didn't have Trae Young to kind of facilitate and get those lobs at the rim, the easy baskets, because of the switching defense. They need to get out in transition, especially at home. Run.
Only 7 fast break points.
Run.
Only 7 fast break points.
You got to get out and run. Use those athletes. And if they can do that, they'll put some pressure on the Milwaukee Bucks, and they got to play more physical. As physical as they were in Game 4, they had none of that tonight. No presence whatsoever.
And it started from so early on in the game, nearly a 20-point lead that was established in that first quarter. I was interested to see that the Bucks starters had 111 of their 123 points. So how is it that you establish that pace early on when you don't want them to get out to such an early lead and play from behind the entirety of the game?
Well, for Atlanta, if you want to establish pace, first thing it starts with is what? Defensive stops. Yep. You got to get your stops, and then you got to secure the rebound. That's what Nate McMillan was talking about. Hey, we got punched in the mouth. They were more physical. They grabbed the offensive board. So you got to get the defensive rebounds, and then you have to have that concentrated effort where everybody just gets out and runs. There's no lollygagging. You got to go out there and get in those lanes, fill those lanes, and force Milwaukee to play at your pace. Every time that you get a stop, get out and run. Make them play your type of game, because if you're Atlanta, you don't have Trae Young. And Trae Young's a different type of superstar. When we look at Milwaukee, Giannis normally gets his points, and then he gets his rebounds. But with Trae, he gets his 30 points, and he brings you 8, 9, 10 assists. So they're missing a lot in the half court. They're missing a scorer and a facilitator. How do you make up for that? Get easy points in transition.
Right, but they also recorded their largest win of the postseason by 22 points in Game 4. So schematically, what was the difference in this one for the Hawks?
Well, it just, again, you got outworked. You got out-hustled. The loose balls, the offensive rebounds that you gave up. I just think they're just a young team that really didn't understand. This was a tremendous opportunity. If they had won this game, do you know how much pressure it would have been coming back here to Atlanta for those Milwaukee Bucks?
Oof.
So they're just young. And, again, without Trae Young, those guys have to step up. Now, I will give them credit. I mean, offensively, they scored 112 points. They put up 34 in the second, another 36 points in the fourth.
And kept it interesting the whole way until the end.
They're going to fight. They're not going to just lay down. And I can see them making it a tough ball game in Game 6 and maybe coming out with a victory, forcing a Game 7.
I hear we've got a few highlights cooked up of Brook Lopez, who, Brendan, had his career night in this one. Break down what the big man was doing.
Brook Lopez was just getting it done in the paint. And big, he screened and he rolled. And then a lot of times he also did something else. When somebody drove the ball, he followed him to the basket. I don't know how many times when you would drive to the basket, you'd be like, hey, Wood, just follow me. And next thing you know, you drop it. You just drop it off right there. And they were so used to you shoot. When you drop it off, then I get an easy dunk and you know what that does? Now you get a couple more shots because they like, man, we don't want to see this guy dunking all game long. That's an easier shot. So when your guard goes to the basket, when you're a big man, yeah, you can. I know you can shoot threes, but you got to diversify your portfolio. Sometimes you stay on the perimeter. Sometimes you read the defense and you cut right down the middle and make that difference and make that defense feel you. That's what Brook Lopez did tonight. Yep. He made the Atlanta Hawks defense feel him in the paint, and he was the difference. 33 big points.
And it pads Brendan's stats as well. So, you know, we all win.
Hey, man. Hey, my man used to look out. My man used to look out for me. My first bucket in Dallas, he told me, he said, hey, Wood, it's a back screen right here. And you're going to slide down the lane and get you wide open for a dunk in OKC. Yes, sir. It happened just like he said it.
I can't believe you.
I was like, man, he was my best friend ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet we could find that highlight. You guys,
probably
start
can,
working
but go
on
ahead.
that.
It's okay.
We, for good reason, have been talking a lot about Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis because of their playoff career highs. But Chris Middleton, of course, the all-star, an X-factor in this one, and we start to take for granted what he's done. With 26 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists. What worked so well for him, Jet?
Well, he was very efficient tonight, but in the paint. Points in the paint are critical against this Atlanta Hawks team. And if they can continue to do this without Giannis, then they'll be going to the finals.
And a difference in his shooting from deep, 2 for 6 from three-point land as opposed to 0 for 7 in the last game. But let's get back to the Hawks, as Bogdanović, of course, as I mentioned earlier, led the Hawks' effort with 28 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He's addressing the media now.
Hey, Boogie. Did you feel like you guys came out flat tonight and then it was just kind of putting yourself in a situation where you have to climb out of that big hole?
I mean, like Coach said at the beginning of the game, they punch us in the face right away, you know, and we couldn't find the rhythm and we couldn't find the way to stop them, you know, later on. And you know, it's hard to chase the 20-point lead the whole game. You know, it takes a lot of energy, but it's a one game, you know, we've been here before, and on to the next one.
Chris? What were the specific reasons for why you think you guys came out flat in that first quarter?
I don't know right now, really. Maybe a couple turnovers, couple, you know, defensive plays, a couple box outs as well, and they got like, in the first quarter, they got like 26, 28 points in the paint out of 34 or something like that, and you know, they got their rhythm. It's harder to stop later on.
Tim?
Bogey, you mentioned the number of points in the paint. I think they had 28 in the first quarter, 44 in the first half. You guys were so good in that area in Game 4, and Brook Lopez in particular was able to kind of get to the rim at will. What did they do differently to get him going the way they did tonight?
I mean, probably they, you know, when they saw that Giannis wasn't playing, you know, they had to find other guys, you know, but we have to do a better job, you know, in these adjustments. These adjustments are live, you know, and we expect them, you know, we talked about it, we expect them to be more aggressive, especially with Brook, you know, and you know, the game is over right now, so nothing else.
I know you didn't want to talk much about your personal performance after Game 4, but you had another strong game today. Are you feeling better as the series goes along?
It's same, you know. Yeah, you know my answer. It's same.
I figured I'd try.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chris Kirschner?
You guys were obviously down 3-2 in the last series and ended up winning. Does it at least give you a little bit of confidence that, you know, it can be done again?
I feel like no one in the locker room lost the confidence, even tonight after the bad start, even after the game. But, it's a different series, obviously, and we're going to keep believing it.
Okay, we'll take questions via Zoom.
Bobby Portis was inserted into the starting lineup for Giannis and finished with a playoff career-high 22. Here he is.
City. We was meeting with, some people over the start of the season, about January, February, and they were just telling us all about the city and how tough it is to live here and things like that. And, the city goes through a lot. So when they see somebody that gives his all and, work hard, because it's a blue-collar city, and I'm a blue-collar player, whether I'm making shots, whether they're going in or not, I still give my all to the team, get 100% for the name on the front of the jersey, and they love players like that. And it's just fun, man, to go out there and play this game, and have the home court advantage as well, and just to get them involved, just so we can have that home court advantage.
See, I know you've said on a number of occasions that you had other offers, more lucrative offers, and you wanted the playoff stage. Just what's it been like to this playoff atmosphere?
Great, man. Coming here was one of the best decisions for my career-wise, man. I started off my career kind of shaky, up and down, a lot of highs, a lot of lows as well. And when you first come into the NBA, you don't really understand the journey. You just come from college. I was my best player on my team, player of the year, All-American in high school. So when I first got to the league, wasn't playing a lot, didn't really understand, was kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit. If I fought my way in, played some, went through a lot of altercations and things like that. But it's the journey is what makes it sweet, man. In the NBA, you really can't, put a tab. It was the best decision, like I said, in my career. Having good veterans like Giannis and Brook to coach me up on how to be a two-way player on the defensive end and things like that. Having guys like Chris and Drew that's unselfish, that can put the ball in the hole but still trust me to shoot my shots, and having coaches like Coach Bud and Coach Ham and all the coaching staff that just believe in me. It was just a great business decision on that tip.
Eric, Bobby, when I watch you play, it feels like joy. Like that's like the word that I just look. What does it feel like?
Finally found peace, man. I'm at peace with myself. I'm at peace with my life and peace with everything going on around me. Was always just trying to find it again. Really couldn't find it, but having great teammates and great coaches, and the pandemic, like I said, it really helped me find out more about myself more than anything. Being at home for 9-10 months straight, watching guys on TV play in the bubble, not being able to go there really hurt. Being at home, my mom was actually fun though as well, getting to spend time with her. But knowing I loved the game, had to sit out a lot and just wait my time. But I got a chance to really work on my game a lot, so that kind of helped me prepare for the moment. But at the same time, it still hurt.
You're someone that obviously plays very aggressive on the glass, getting to do everything in the paint. What do you think of Drew's start and then just Brooks seemingly being all?
You see that dunk Brook had? That was crazy. Like we was talking about it. That was, I don't know, man. That was he dunked it so hard. Like that was crazy too. Like I didn't think he had a chance of even catching that. But I think guys don't even understand how athletic Brook is to do the things he does. And he's a great basketball player. But that dunk right there, I was at the top of the key and I saw him catch. I'm like, man, ain't no way he catching that. That's out of bounds. Then he dunked it. I'm like, yeah, that was a special moment. Got the crowd really, really hyped too. And from there, it was our game.
Bobby, series was tied. It's 3-2, game away. I know you're trying to stay in the moment, but how important? Maybe it goes without saying, but how important was it to not just bounce back?
To be at home, you got to take her home. You have to take her the home court advantage, man. I think the pressure is more on the home team to win, man. When your road team come in, if they lose, they're like, okay, cool, we can go home and try to win at home again. But I think we had to win the game, and knowing that the situation we was in, one of the best players in the world went down on our team. So Other guys had to step up, and guys stepped up and played the role to the T. And it was fun, man, playing in that game tonight. The crowd was involved from the start. Got the chance to go out there and play basketball that we love, and it was a blast.
Bobby, you've talked about taking advantage of any and every opportunity you've been given, but starting in the Eastern Conference Finals when Giannis is out, what did that mean to you, and what were you kind of telling yourself in terms of?
I was just trying to stay locked in. Like I said, coming here was a good decision for me. When you're on a losing team, like I said, man, you kind of take the moment for granted. You're just out there playing and trying to get stats or whatever. But when I came here, guys was locked in. Chris always on me about boxing out and rebounding and things like that. Coach Bud always on about the low man. Giannis always about me about shooting the shot, stop pump faking. So guys really trusting me, and having guys like that, it just makes it much funner to play the game. Knowing that, Giannis went down, and we had to step up, and I think that's what makes the game that much better. When you have to stay locked in and stay in the moment and be ready. I didn't play the last couple games in the Brooklyn series, but I didn't pout. I just kept working and knew my time was going to come. And I always just believe in, when you do the things the right way, you do right, it always come back around. The cream always rises to the top. I just try to stay in the moment and be a team guy. So, and I give it all the credit to my teammates and the coaches for just trusting me.
Jeff, and then we'll go to the Zoom call. Bobby, I know you've started games before, but this is your first playoff start. How did you get the news? When did Bud tell you, and what was your reaction?
I worked out yesterday in the gym, and they was kind of hinting around to it, but I didn't really think I was going to start. And then I came into the shoot-around this morning, and we did our little film. The coach said, you're going to start and told the line. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm ready then. I go out there and start. And it was fun though, man. But still got one more game. I'm a big time believer in 12 o'clock rule. When 12 o'clock comes, and it's on to the next one. So let's enjoy the 12.
Mark Schwartz.
Hey, Bobby, you talked about Brooke being more athletic than people realize and the dunk that he had. How would you describe kind of what got into him tonight? I mean, we're so used to watching him.
I mean, Brooke a beast, man. Brooke a beast. The games that Giannis did sit out this year, I mean, Brooke, he went crazy in all those games that we played. He had monster numbers in those games, so. We already know what we're gonna get out of Brooke. He protects the rim, he plays hard. He's a team guy. He's fun to play with, man. He's a joy to be alongside. So what got into him was just him being himself, knowing that the situation that we were in, and he wasn't gonna let the team down.
Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Recorded his 7th double-double of the postseason with 26 and 13. Here he is.
Bobby said that he thinks maybe the city, we talked to you already about his getting chance and all this stuff, but he said maybe the city embraces him because he's a blue-collar player and this is a blue-collar city. What's your vantage point of his reception here?
I would agree. I mean, he's a hard worker, a guy that puts it all out there on the court. He just told you how he was in the gym the other day, on the day off. He's a guy that's going to keep working, no matter what.
And you heard him say the 12 o'clock rule. Do you subscribe to that? And what's the balance between figuring this one out and then moving on to Game 6?
Mine's a little bit longer. I like to watch a lot of film, so after I watch that film of this game, dissect it, think about it. By the time waking up in the morning, be on to the next.
Joe Bart. So you'll go home tonight and watch the game?
Yeah.
A little wine or beer, anything?
Sometimes. It just depends on how I feel, my body feels tonight. Just probably be a whole bunch of water and Pedialyte.
You've played without Giannis a bunch in the regular season, and it is what it is. But in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals without your guy, how much more did you put on yourself to make sure you guys won tonight?
I didn't. I know a lot of people expect me to do that. For me, it's just just figuring out the game, playing within the game, finding ways to get myself involved, but also others. Knowing that, the focal point is going to be me a lot more, and Drew also. I think Drew did a great job of, setting the tone first. He got himself going. He got other guys involved, Brooke, Bobby. But then myself, I just try to, pick my spots, find where I can attack and be aggressive and take advantage.
In the start of the fourth quarter, I think the ball's in your hands for the first, let's say, 5 or 6 possessions. Just what were you seeing there? It felt like, to me, like Bub was like, hey, Drew's out, we got to give it to you, close this thing.
Yeah, I mean, with Giannis out, Dante out, we don't have as many ball handlers. I think it was myself and Bryn as the guards out there, and I think we'd rather have Bryn, off the ball shooting, be ready to shoot more space on the floor. So he just put the ball in my hands, we ran pick and roll, and after that, just play the game, read the defense, read where my shots are coming from, read where I get the ball to Brooke or other guys, but he's just playing within the flow and reading the defense out of a pick and roll.
Can you take me through a little bit? Like, it felt like Brooke was obviously a priority rolling, but you also find Bryn on the skip to the other side. Just kind of what were you seeing specifically with Brooke rolling down the middle?
Brooke had such a dominant game, rolling and getting by the basket. He cracked it so he got so many guys coming to him. After that, just finding where the help is coming from. Even the guy Tuck a couple of threes in the corner, just missed some great shots. Bryn hit one. But the focal point was Brooke, finding him at the rim and then playing through that and seeing where the help was coming from, where if I could throw it to him.
I mean, it isn't unusual for Drew to take over games, but just what do you think of him at the start of this game kind of saying like, hey, we're going to put a stamp on this?
I love it. I mean, that's what we need. We need aggressive Drew at all times. He's a hell of a player on both sides of the ball offensively. Like I said, he got it going early, which gave us a lot of confidence.
Jim?
Hey, Chris, they kind of follow up, I guess, on both of those. With Drew first, how does your offense change a little bit when he's sort of initiating? I know Giannis sometimes brings it up. I know you guys too, but when it's clearly, at the start, he's kind of setting that up. I guess, does it change much, or how does he, can guys move, I guess, when he's...
We were just playing through him. Okay. I mean, letting him make the decisions and making him make the drives, the shots. Like I said, he's our point guard when he plays aggressive. It's great for us. It gives everybody confidence and he gets everybody going.
Obviously, you want Giannis on the floor. When he's out, though, and you mentioned Brooke, was that as they say, game plan? But was it kind of, I guess, because knowing what he can do in the paint, especially when he doesn't have to really get out of Giannis's way inside, right? And he's just sort of the big. Was that a part of the game plan, or was it just he's moving and feeling good? And
I think he just saw it. I think he just saw where the opening was for him to be aggressive and be a force. And tonight that was slashing a lot, that was rolling a lot. He could play both inside and out, but he does a great job reading the game and figure out where he could get his spots and, like I said, be aggressive and be a force.
Steven Watson. Hey Chris, I know the other night Giannis spoke pretty glowingly about you after your big performance, and I wanted, you know him as well as anybody inside that locker room and how tough it is for him to watch a game from the sidelines. What has impressed you most about how he's handled the last 48 hours and just the way that he was so animated on the bench throughout this entire game and just his presence, what it means to this team?
His presence means a lot. Two-time MVP, future Hall of Famer. So when he speaks, he listens. We listen. When he's around, we love it. He has so much knowledge. He's been through a lot. It's hard. I mean, for him to sit out in one of the biggest, playoff series of his career. But he just got to find a way to deal with it. We all do. I know he's itching to get back out there. I know he's trying to play the other night. I know he's trying to play tonight. But right now, he just got to try to take care of himself the best way he can so he could get back out there.
Meanwhile, Drew Holiday became the first player in franchise history with multiple 25-point, 10-assist games in the playoffs. Here he is.
To kind of turn around some of these after the game the faster start, obviously, but ultimately drop the hat. How are you able to turn things around? How much of a priority was that to kind of improve that start?
It was one of the main priorities, just to be aggressive out the gate. Be the aggressor, be more aggressive than they were, and we definitely felt like those games in Atlanta, was energy from the crowd or whatever it was, but they swung and punched us in the mouth. So we didn't want to take any chances. We wanted to come out strong and hit first.
Eric, man. Drew, early, obviously, you're going to the rack. Just what did you think of the physicality that you were able to play with? It felt like you were just bouncing off defenders as you were going there.
I like playing that way. I'm a bigger guard, so I can take that. I like being physical. I like getting into the paint. So, especially with Giannis, who's our main guy, getting into the paint, especially in transition, and if he has an advantage or a mismatch, I just felt like I had to do my part today.
Did you say anything specific to Brook about going to the front of the rim? It felt like every time you drove, he was just waiting in front of the rim.
No, I think me and Brook kind of had this connection, defensively and offensively, just for him to be able to get in positions to help me. So even when I get into the paint and sometimes this man might step up, I'll always know that Brook's right behind him. Same thing on defense. If I get beat, I know Brook's behind me. So not only me, I feel like Brook has a connection with everybody, just to be able to read the game, whether to step out the three or be in the paint and kind of control the paint.
When I watch Bobby Portis play basketball, I have fun. Like, I think it's fun. Do you guys get that same vibe?
No, yeah. He brings this energy that nobody else could bring. It doesn't matter how he's playing, but he's gonna muck it up. He's gonna fight. He's gonna talk, and everybody loves when somebody talks. He knows that we got his back. So love the way that he plays and continues to play. He's been huge for us.
Malika?
Drew, to get 7 different guys scoring, to get Bobby going the way he was going, for you guys at home in this game, to get that type of momentum going back to Atlanta, what was the importance of that?
I just think with Giannis being out, people had to step up. People knew that they were going to get shots and opportunities, and to step into those with confidence and make those. Again, everybody who had 20 today is capable of doing that every single game, but we also know our roles. So I think for them to be able to do that, and be able to step up in a game like this is huge. And honestly, it's a fun way to play. It's a fun way to play where everybody's sharing, everybody's scoring, everybody's contributing. So we want to continue doing that.
Jimbo?
Hey, Drew. Well, you mentioned Atlanta, the crowd, punches in the mouth, things like that. Bobby talked about Brook's dunk and just how crazy that was. I mean, at home, when you can get big dunks and that type of thing and that type of offense, do you feel that, and can that kind of swell you guys to a degree when that type of thing is going on?
You for sure do. That's why you got to protect home court. They're the best 6 men that you can have. Big dunks, big threes, big plays on defense, big blocks, which Brook was doing that tonight too, big blocks. There's no other feeling like it, to be able to have that crowd behind you on big plays like that.
I know obviously you want Giannis out there, and you've talked all year about the different ways you can be used on offense, whether he's initiating off ball. But is it a little easier, I guess, to start the way you did and have this sort of mindset when you are bringing it up, when you are initiating and can kind of see, you know what I mean? Like, did that maybe help your start today in a way?
I just knew I had to be aggressive. And whatever that means, Giannis being out or not, I knew today I had to be aggressive. And I feel like the best way that I'm going to help my team is that being getting into the paint, penetrating, dishing out for threes and wide open looks, dishes to Brook to make monster dunks like that. So honestly, I just think being aggressive, getting downhill is something that helps our team out a lot, and I have to continue to do that.
Joe, you've thrown a bunch of alley-oops in your life to Giannis. Those feel like ones that you can throw it anywhere and they're going to get it.
No, I threw one to Brook today, way behind him, and he caught it. That joint was crazy. That was crazy. Hey, man, look, I'm going to throw it. Brook, I'm going to keep on throwing it to you. In crazy places, like he made me look good because I threw a bad pass. So, I mean, hey, man, Brook's the MVP.
Joe?
One more to Mark Schwartz.
Drew,
Hold on, Eric. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
In November, they went and got you, the Bucks did, for pretty much this. Do you ever think about it in those terms, or does it add any pressure in a gotta have a game like this, just knowing that the Bucks pretty much brought you in for this kind of moment?
No, there's no pressure.
There's no pressure. I feel like if there's pressure on people, it's probably Giannis and K-Mid. I'm kind of the one who assists them, try to make their lives easier. But I'm grateful for the Bucks, blessed for them to come and grab me the way that they did, and to be put in this position. This is my first conference finals ever, so I'm just happy and blessed to be here, and I want to make the most of it, take advantage of it.
The winning performance is fueled by Gatorade, and Brook Lopez was winning. He recorded a playoff career-high 33 points. He led the Bucks to the win over the Hawks and the 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. He was also 13 of 14 from the paint. He's at the podium now.
You said the TV, the post-game TV interview, initially kind of dominated from the start. How much were y'all kind of focusing on that during the off days after the way games 3 and 4 began in Atlanta?
Big part of it. You know, we just had to come out with the right focus, the right energy from the get-go, because those are obviously that was obviously a big advantage in those 2 games in Atlanta, and so we knew we had to come out right from the get and play a full 48 minutes on both ends.
Jeff? Brooke, the way the game changed, over the past decade, you had to change your game. How much of tonight felt like it was a throwback to your early days where the paint and the post dominated?
I'm just trying to go out there and help my team however possible, whether it's, playing that new modern 3-ball game, floor stretch game, or being inside. And what was great about today is we were really all just basketball players playing together, both on offense and on defense. We were playing off one another, making plays, making extra passes, and it was a lot of fun tonight.
Eric, man? Brooke, just what did you see from Drew early? It felt like he was physical, getting to the paint, just from the start, it was over and over and over again.
Yeah, he was just very assertive and making plays for everyone. He was getting in the paint, making plays, reading the defense perfect. Not even really reading the defense, making the defense make a decision and then playing off that. He was absolutely a huge spark for us.
When people drive typically on this team, Giannis runs to the front of the rim. You got to do that tonight. How much fun did you have running to the front of the rim as Drew turned the corner, and just kind of what was that like for you?
Yeah, it was definitely fun. Like you said, Giannis gets to do that. I'm usually watching him, but it's easy when you have guys like Drew and Chris who are making plays like that. They draw so much attention, command so much attention, rightfully so. And they know how to make that extra pass, that play to whoever it is. If it's me diving or Bobby or Pat in the corner or PJ, whatever it is, they know how to make the right play.
As you're creeping in the dunker and you see Drew throw that alley-oop, what's your first thought?
I was actually, I was like, oh, this is behind me a little bit. But I just, tried to go get it. He's been so great at making the right play. He put it up there, and that's on me to just go get it and put it in the rim.
So you're thinking, I gotta go get it. But once it's like back here, is there any doubt that it's gonna get to the rim?
No, I honestly, I just was like, all right, grab the ball first off, and then just get it to the rim, one way or another. But he made great play after great play, almost every time down tonight.
Jim?
Brooke, Drew he's been asked that question about like the pressure thing, the team getting him, and he has said it from day one. There is no pressure. What kind of tone does that set, and has that set maybe where what kind of guy and player he is? He is traded for, but he doesn't. I mean, it doesn't seem like he carries that at all.
No, he's very comfortable in these situations, and that's something like how I talked about. We've just kind of built from the preseason to the regular season all the way through it to now. Just having that confidence in ourselves as players and as a team, knowing that we've been through a lot of stuff through this season. We've learned through a lot of stuff, both in wins and losses, and we have that experience as a group. And, as individuals as well, we're confident in ourselves, and we know that we can go out there and that we can excel in our role. I think that's just having trust in one another, that, our teammates are out there with us, and then obviously we know what each and every one of our jobs is.
I know obviously Giannis has missed games. We've talked to you after games like this that you've had. Brooklyn Brook and all that. I guess if you don't know when he'll be able to come back, does it, I don't say you want to help, or do you think about that this may be what is needed of you however many games?
Yeah, I'm prepared for whatever is asked for me by the team, but it's absolutely just everyone stepping up together to fill that. Obviously no one can replace Giannis. He's freaking 2-time MVP, so much of what we do, and no one person's going to replace that. It's a matter of everyone stepping up, and I think everyone showed that they're capable of doing that tonight.
Malika? Have you seen a replay of the dunk yet?
Drew's lob?
Yeah.
I saw one. One of the owners showed it to me, and that's about as long as I'm going to stay in the air, I think, in my life, probably.
Drew said it was a bad pass, was it?
I've always told other players and guards, just try to get it to me, and I'll try to do the rest. So he made the pass. It was a good pass.
Good enough.
Mark Schwartz.
Brooke, so much of the time now, as you say, you're a stretch five, you're camped behind the three-point line. What was it like to play that Brooklyn Brook role tonight and be the old 7'1" guy that just towers over a game like this that's so important for your team?
Yeah, like I said, I was just trying to read off Chris and Drew, who were making good plays throughout the whole night, and honestly, I was just more concerned with being as effective as I could on defense, communicating with everyone, all of us being together, knowing that we're going to switch 1 through 5. So just, I was trying to put a lot of energy there as well and make a difference on that end of the ball.
And the fact that you got 2 block shots right out of the jump, how would you describe your defensive mindset in this game?
Yeah, I was obviously just trying to be aggressive, trying to have an effect. And it's something I've said all season, just, knowing that my guys are back there behind me. I have 4 guys back there behind me who are there to help, makes that job a lot easier.
Stephen Watson. Hey, Brooke, understanding what the goals were for this team at the beginning of the season, to know that you're 1 game away from the NBA Finals, how does that sound?
It's exciting, but it's obviously not done. We need to bottle that energy and effort that we had tonight and do it again in 2 days.
All right, thanks, Brooke.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's take a look at the series schedule with Game 6 Saturday on TNT at 8:30 Eastern, and if necessary, Game 7 will be in Milwaukee on Monday. Of course, you can stay with us for pre- and post-game coverage right here on NBA TV. And let's look ahead to that potential Game 6, because this Game 5 was the second game in a row where there were 0 lead changes. So knowing that we know as little as we do about what to expect in this series, what do you expect in Game 6, Jet?
Yeah, I expect the Milwaukee Bucks to learn from their past experience like Game 4. You have to come out and be aggressive. You have to come out and be physical. You have to come out and put pressure on the paint. Brook Lopez needs to be a factor. Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday set the tone right away.
I think Atlanta's going to do well at home. I think they're going to play off the home crowd. I think, though, like we always talk about role players being more comfortable playing well at home. We saw that for Milwaukee with Bobby Portis playing great today at home, Brook Lopez playing great today at home. I think Atlanta, I like their chances in this game. And I also have the utmost respect for Nate McMillan, the job that he's done since taking over in early March. I think he makes some adjustments. I think Atlanta gets Game 6. We're headed for Game 7.
Well, that will just about do it for Playoff Central Live, but not quite.
Because J. Kidd told me to tell you. So
hey, man,
I can't take credit for that.
J. Kidd was like a point guard on the floor, man.
The Wizard of Oz.
Relaying the wisdom. I told you that we could find a play.
He coached up a game winner for you one time, too, a backdoor cut.
100%.
Yes, sir.
The glowing endorsement.
That's why he's going to do great in Dallas.
Yes.
J. Kidd's going to do great in Dallas. He's been a coach, man.
That will now do it for Playoff Central Live. All of the coach and player press conferences, by the way, are available in full on NBA.com.